Einstein famously said that imagination is more important than knowledge. But what exactly did he mean? That's what we'll cover in this video, and by the end of it, you'll see how imagination isn't a daydream. It's a skill that, if used properly, can help you to achieve things that you thought were out of reach. Einstein's full quote went like this: "Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress, giving birth to evolution." So the question is, how can imagination stimulate progress and give birth to evolution? Most people lose their imagination as they grow older. They start to think only in terms of reality. But imagination is the world of unlimited potential. It's a place where the next version of you is allowed to exist first. Studies have shown that whether we experience an event in real life or in our mind, our brain recruits overlapping neural circuits. A classic 5-day piano study showed people who only imagined practicing showed brain changes in the motor map of the mind similar to those who actually practiced. In other words, the brain treats vivid imagination like real reps. It rewires, which means imagination isn't make-believe, it's neuropractice. And that's the point. Events change us. And the events we rehearse in our mind can change us too. But in our imagination, we get to choose the changes that we want to elicit. That's stimulating progress, evolution, exactly what Einstein was talking about. It's where the worlds of visualization and manifestation come from. It's not woo science, it's rewiring your brain through imagination. And it wasn't just Einstein. Nikola Tesla used it to perfect his works. He said, "I do not rush into actual work. I build it up in my imagination and run it in my mind. In this way, I'm able to rapidly develop and perfect a conception without touching anything." Here's the truth that's gotten lost in the modern world. Our mind is a simulator. You can run any scenario you like, and if you do it vividly enough, the brain learns as if it was real. The problem is, we rarely take the time to use it. In today's world of constant distractions, it's hard to sit alone and think on purpose. As Blaise Pascal warned, all humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit in a quiet room alone. He was trying to tell us to embrace intentional stillness, to use the power of our minds. A few minutes of quiet isn't withdrawing from the world. It's a launch pad for imagination. What you do with the quiet decides what it becomes. Left unattended, it can drift into fantasy. But entered on purpose, it becomes rehearsal. There's a difference between fantasy and rehearsal. One lets you watch a life, and the other prepares you for one. Fantasy can be fun, but it doesn't move us any closer to our goals. We don't use imagination to make giant leaps forward. We use it to progress gradually, because evolution doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time. Being intentional with your thoughts is the key. Instead of using imagination as an escape from reality, use it intentionally as an entry point to a new one. Pre-feel the future that you desire until your nervous system stops treating it as foreign, so that when you take action, it feels like less of a risk and more of a return. This is the true power of the mind, the ability to affect your reality through thought alone, by gradually changing your identity through evolution. But mastering the art of imagination is a skill, and like any other skill, it takes persistence and practice. It's not something you can do just once. We must consistently delve deep in our imagination and create scenarios which are beyond our current capabilities in order to evolve. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And this is true. We often imagine how things can go wrong, but it's also true that we become more in imagination than we do in memory. It's what you choose to replay which is important. It can either open a door or close one. So if you want to become the best version of yourself, don't try to argue with reality. Start by upgrading the simulations you run. As T.E. Lawrence said, "All men dream, but not equally. The dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dreams with open eyes."